I'm not a strong believer and I never was. The reason to that is very simple. I just couldn't find some answers to my questions in religion, and where I could find them was in science. But sometimes it feels like science just can't explain you some things. And I experienced this feeling a few times, and I want to talk about it. I'm sorry for sitting here in a cap, but my hair is very, very wet. It's looks disgusting, so I have to. Here is my phone, and what happened to this phone is one of craziest things in my life. It's like it's Poco, it's Poco M4 Pro, very cheap smartphone, and my parents bought this for me, on my birthday about 3 years ago, something like that, and it actually doesn't work. So here I'm trying to boot this, I'm trying to start this, and uh, the poor phone will just load on recovery mode and nothing else. Here it is. um, I was using this phone for about 2 years every day. It was like my phone. and and this phone has like 256 gigabytes of storage. And after using this phone for some time, I, of course, I like to take photos, to record videos, create memories. The storage was full. I was in relationships with a girl, and it started like in March of 2023, and of course I had this incredibly great phone, and I broke up with her on September 29 of 2024. uh, Something more like our relationships lasted for like a year and a half, something like that. And and the whole period was documented on this phone. I had a lot of photos, I had a lot of videos, and I thought these memories, these photos, I was primarily creating all these moments to I like this. I like this stuff to document something, and then it feels great to just look back in time and feel what I was feeling at that day, at that hour, probably. So and the whole our relationships were documented on this phone, and it was a very difficult period, um, very, very difficult period for me. And I would never erase data on this phone. And what makes it a lot harder for me to break up is, when I have a lot of memories, when I could just open my phone, open gallery, and just scroll there, watch some moments, and remember, how our brain works. It remembers only positive, only good moments, and completely forgets about all the bad stuff. That is the problem. So it was hard for me to break up, and I would never erase any data on this phone. And if we broke up, and I was actually considering that option, because mm, you know um, she wasn't that into me to continue the whole thing. So if I actually did break up, it would be very hard for me to uh, just have this phone, have a lot of memories on this, and I would never erase them. I'm not that. I don't know what word actually could describe me, but I value these things a lot, even if it contains memories with a wrong person. I still value it. And the funny thing is, when, as I once said, but those relationships ended when I found out about the other guy she was chatting with, and it was like the final point, and it was on 29 September of 2024, just a day before my birthday, which is on September 30. And uh, and this situation I can't explain it at all. This phone was working great for a very long period of time, for more than 2 years probably. Oh, if this was a gift on my birthday like 3 years ago, so it was working for 2 years straight. I feel very dumb sometimes. So it was working for 2 years for me. Working for me sounds funny, but yeah. And I have never actually had any problems. And exactly on the day when I finally decided to break up, and I felt, I remember that day. It's like something has just break something. It felt like something has just broke inside of me, like fell apart, and it was hard. I remember uh, I went for a walk with my friend, and he gave me support. I explained to him the whole situation and what I found, and then I was receiving a lot of messages from her, and I was ignoring her. So I knew that when 1, 2, 3, I mean a few days will end, and I would open my gallery and just watch some photos, and it would be a lot harder. But then when I actually got home, so the phone worked for a few more hours while I was with my friend, while I was on a walk, and when I got home, and when I got to, and when I went to take a shower, I then when I was finished, I just take my phone, and it's not working. It simply doesn't work. I was a little confused, and I didn't know what to do. I googled the problem. I was looking for a way to fix this, but I didn't find anything. So, and it's my birthday tomorrow, and what I actually did, you know what, why am, why am I talking about this situation? Because that girl, she was hated by my whole family, uh, very, very hated, and they all were telling me that she is not the proper choice for you. And I have that quality in me that if I have an opinion on something and I'm completely sure about it, not a single person can affect my opinion and change it. And it was a really difficult period of time. I mean, the whole relationships. I sometimes it felt like my family was like my family hated not her, but me. Mm, it was hard, and I even left the home for some time, and but now it is all great, and it actually became better. And what I'm talking about that um, while I was with her, I was planning my future completely different from how I'm planning it right now. And the main factor, the main, I mean, thing about, and the main difference is that I was planning to study here in Kazakhstan while I was with her. And I actually understood that I have an opportunity, a great opportunity to go abroad. And by abroad, I mean some European country. Um, but I still wanted to be here, to stay here and be around her. And that was my biggest mistake. And what I'm talking about, when actually I finally broke up with her, and when my phone mm, just stopped working, I yeah, I wasn't feeling a thing about her, and so uh, going back to my storyline about the phone, it was my birthday the next day, and I'm sitting at the evening. I was in Discord with my friend, and we were just playing Fortnite. It's, I don't like Fortnite actually. I don't play it anymore, and it was just a fun uh, update there, so we tried it out. So we were chatting about the phone, and I was like, so now I was saving money to go, to other city and in my country, because I knew that my parents actually wouldn't that much support my decision to stay here, and I needed to have some. I needed to have some base. I was saving a lot of money, and when I actually broke up, I understood that I don't actually need that much now, and I was just looking for a new phone. And the next day I woke up, and I just opened an app and online shop, and I ordered a new phone. This is the new phone. I'm recording on it right now, an iPhone 15. Mm, it was actually not that cheap, and my parents, especially my dad, was in some kind of shock. Like he was like, about $900 it was. I I hope. And he and my dad was, that much money for a phone. It was actually hilarious, and I'm not that good actor, so yeah, continuing to my my story. I ordered this phone, and for a few days I was without a phone, and this phone wasn't booting at all. It wasn't starting at all. It just don't work. Doesn't work. I mean, yeah. The reason why I'm feeling like God have some plans for me is that when it was actually at that breaking moment, that breaking point, which could, lead my future life, and my life could become completely different just because of a few choices. Somehow it happened just so rapid that and changed everything, that I couldn't even expect that. And this phone actually makes me think that it wasn't just a coincidence. So, as I already said, I was going to stay here in Kazakhstan and study here because of that girl. And when I broke up with her, and when my phone just stopped working, and it became, I I think, I'm sure it became a lot easier for me to, have some off days of her and actually think about everything and understand that my decision is absolutely right. My phone just wasn't working those days, and uh, I needed that. I actually needed that. And when this happened, just you know, not a very long time after, a few other situations just happened. I could call them coincidence, but I don't find this a coincidence, and it just blows my mind sometimes. So happened just so a few other situations happened, and now my plans on my future are completely changed, and I'm very happy about them. Of course, this is not the only time when something like this happens to me, but this is just a very remarkable moment and very bright, represent not a representation, actually, a very bright example of what of how it happens. And this phone, I today I was visiting a dentist for a few months now, and she was treating my caries, my dental caries, and now was the last day, so now my teeth, they are probably healthy. So when I went to go there, I also took this phone, and after finally 4 months almost, yeah, I took this to the service, and the guy there said you can't restore data. To boot this phone, you need to format all the data. Um, this is actually very sad, and actually I wanna restore all the data because there were a lot of moments with my family, with my friends, a lot of very great memories. But I wanna think that it is the cheapest price I could pay for all good things which happened to me lately. I feel like when something bad happens, and I can give you a few other examples. So when I actually left my house, it was terrible. It was very bad. And I could say that now everything is screwed up. But sometime later, now at this actual moment, I have the best bond with my family. I'm close to them. I'm very close to them, and as close as I never was. So when something bad happens, it actually leads you to the right way, to the right direction, to the right path. And after some time, it becomes a lot better than it was. Probably it will be all for my today's video. All this actually makes me think a lot. For now, it's just something beyond things I can explain. And no matter what affects my life and what makes my life the way it is, I am very thankful to that. And anyone it could be, or anything it could be, I'm very thankful to it. And also I'm very thankful to you for watching this video. Bye.